People, welcome back to another episode of Your Legacy Live. So today we're going to talk about the boomer generation and how they're looking to exit their businesses. And why is it that this generation are finding it difficult to sell their businesses? And the fact that some are having to sell at a loss or just do a fire sale, right? Either they're just shutting the doors slowly or they're having to just liquidate assets for the value of those assets. They're not extracting the value that they've built into this business that they are hoping to use to fund their retirement. Why is this? Well, it comes down to a supply and demand and a misalignment between the values of the selling generation and the values of the buying generation. For example, as many may realize, most, if not all of these businesses that are owned by the boomer generation were built on long hours and hard work. Most deliver services where the owner's hours are regulated by the needs of the customer, and they use technology to facilitate those transactions, but they don't leverage technology to create the transactions. So boomers own too many of these businesses, and there are too few prospective buyers who will consider them attractive. But there is hope. You've probably heard it through the cadence and what I've been talking about and some of the key terms I've been using here. There are things that can be done to make the business more appealing to the next generation. Okay. In this episode of Your Legacy Live, we're going to explore what those things are and some of the ways that you can make your business more attractive. So stay tuned. All right. Hi, I'm Todd Jarvis. I help business owners and families grow businesses and protect their loved ones by creating solid foundations in their businesses and their families so they can create true value and get the freedom they deserve without wasting time. So if you're new here, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe so you can get alerted about all of our new content as it's released. And also, for those new and repeat visitors alike, remember to post your thoughts and questions in the comments on whatever platform you're on so we can learn and grow together. So let's jump right in. Why are there so many businesses owned by baby boomers? Well, the boomer generations, they're raised to believe that they can do anything. In the 50s, the quote, "You could be president of the United States if you want to," was heard around millions of dinner tables around the US, right? It was a rude awakening when they grew up a little bit and discovered that the same promises had been made to everyone around their dinner table. So the success that the baby boomer generation came to define they came to define their success by their status of their careers and their material possessions. But the problem is there weren't enough corporate jobs for everyone at the time, right? We know this generation is significantly bigger than the previous generation and the following generations. So there was a lot more well-educated people. So there just weren't as many jobs available to give them that high level of status that they wanted so they can afford those material positions. Okay. So they began to look for alternative avenues of success. And in the 70s, they began opening new businesses in previously unimagined numbers. Okay. So just like the college graduation rates of their time, the number of new businesses opening at that time, they were unprecedented, as I said. And they've since leveled off after that boomer surge, and they remain flat to this day. So as boomers started being successful, as they started building these businesses, they began to use their discretionary income to outsource things that weren't available from brick and mortar stores. So this is like a perfect economic engine that was built. The small business owners contracted services and routine chores to another small business owner who was working just as hard to realize this American dream. That owner, in turn, focused on lawn cutting, home repair, or running a restaurant in order to make enough money to outsource his or her routine tasks to yet another small business owner. Freed from the constraints of the 40-hour work week, by the late 1980s, boomers had expanded the average white-collar work week to almost 54 hours, actually. The boomer generation created what we now call the 60-hour work week, right? Thank you very much. It was because they didn't have to be home at 5 o'clock in order to get the chores done. Right? They could work weekends because someone else was mowing their lawn. Someone else was doing their laundry, right? They had outsourced so many of these chores. It gave them more time to invest in their business and to create that success and their status and also their discretionary income. So as they form businesses in these unprecedented numbers and transform our manufacturing society into a society based on people performing services for each other, in their youth and their adulthood, the workers and consumers and parents, those boomers transformed the typical American life as they move through it. Now they're preparing to exit their business, and like everything else they've done, it will change everything about the small businesses in America. Okay, so why is this a problem? Why can't the next generation just pick up the torch and move forward? Here's the facts. The next generation is half the size. And furthermore, Generation X, in comparison to the boomer generation, were raised in a thriving economy. As the children of educated two-income families, the middle-class Generation Xers, those who would most otherwise be interested and lean towards entrepreneurship, have little desire to take up the rigors of boomer businesses. Their value system prizes time over money and family contact over material success. If they are interested in business, they want it to be on their terms, not the customer dictated hours of a traditional service models. Okay, this isn't to say one value system is better than the other. It's just to show that there's a misalignment of value systems and why someone who is looking to exit their business at 65 today may see a challenge and may not understand why there's no buyers out there wanting their business. You've seen as a business owner the success and the joy and the rewards that your business has given you. However, the next generation isn't willing to step in your shoes and do the hard work that you are. They just don't value that hard work the way you do. Another major trend affecting the availability of buyers for small business is the fact that corporate America is well aware of this coming population shift as well. So when the baby boomers, when that generation were seeking career positions, as we mentioned a minute ago, it was a buyer's market. Okay, employees could agree to work in a manner an employer dictated, or they just have to find someone else to give them a job, right? But today, with a shortage of both bodies and talent, large employers are becoming far more accommodating to younger workers. So boomer businesses, the business owners are facing a major challenge in finding buyers for those businesses, and many of them built their companies based on these long hours, personal responsibility, and deferring income in order to reinvest in the business. Now they're looking at a buyer population who seeks instant gratification and is not interested in decades-long commitments. Reinvesting, saving, reinvesting for the long run, okay? I've often heard that Generation X, we said, values time over money. Well, the next generation, the millennials, okay, they're earning money in order to spend money. So there's another challenge coming up, all right? So the next challenge will be making sure that the Gen Xers are positioning their business for succession. But today we're talking about the current 65 and older who are looking to exit due to retirement. So this is why you need to be very intentional with your exit from your business. You need to shape the business into one that is attractive to the buyer in the new economy. So as you're looking to exit, you need to take it from a business that you enjoy working in, not really, but that holds your values. You need to start shaping in and looking at your business from a buyer's perspective. Who is that potential buyer, right? And maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's a third party. Maybe it's a private equity fund, right? There's different options, and understanding those options and understanding how to look at your business from their perspective is greatly going to enhance your ability to put processes and an exit plan in place that's going to shape the business into one that will be attractive to that intentional buyer. So any exit plan is going to begin by determining your financial goals and the feasibility of reaching those goals in the time frame you've chosen. So if we look at the difference between your net worth today, right, and the net worth you want or need when you retire, that gap, the difference between those two, what you have today, what you want to have when you retire, that's your wealth gap, okay? That's the distance between today and when you're ready to sell. That's your distance goal, all right? Your chosen time frame might have to lengthen or shorten depending on the realities of the market and the attractiveness of your business to a buyer. So if it's going to take a lot of work in order to get your business attractive to a buyer to the point that they'll pay the amount that you want to exit at, then you might need a little more time, all right? But realizing this and having that knowledge is half the battle, right? Okay. So we've discussed the challenge of transitioning a small business in the coming decade. Although the market will be competitive, the situation isn't hopeless. Hope you feel that. The reality is that every business owner will eventually exit his or her business, and preparation for the most important financial event of a lifetime it's only logical to be prepared for this, right? And to be intentional, not just sit around, okay? Now, there's 5 million businesses coming to market. We know that many and perhaps most will not be successfully sold. Right now, it's about 20% that go to market are successfully sold. Or at least they're not, the 80% is not sold at the price that the current owner envisions. So having options in timing, price, and choice of successor results in appropriate preparation. So here's 5 options you face. And these aren't mutually exclusive. Okay, this all comes down to what we just mentioned about having flexibility in timing, price, and choice of successor. Okay. So first thing you can do is ignore it. Of course, you don't have to prepare. You can always choose to let events unfold and simply accept whatever may be. 2, wait and watch. A better option is to prepare than wait and watch. Regardless of how ready your company is for transition, the current condition of the economy and the availability of your financing will still be a major factor. You may choose to properly position your company and then let the timing of the actual exit event be determined by opportunity. So you get ready, right? You don't have an end date in mind, but you're preparing for it. And then you're watching and waiting for that opportunity for a buyer to come by that you can approach. Then there's a planned liquidation. If you really can't envision anyone running your business without you, you may want to consider an orderly shutdown. Transitioning employees, customers, and vendors into new relationships has some economic value and may let you realize financial benefits when you leave your business, although it would not equal the market value of an ongoing operation, but it is an option. 4, you can prepare for a competitive sale. Okay, baby boomers are the most competitive generation in American history. Driven by scarcity, they approach every phase of life as competition. Selling a business isn't going to be any different. The race will go to those who are best prepared and understand the selling environment they're facing. Last option, develop your successor. So an increasingly popular tactic involves a long-term development of an internal successor. Okay, employees who are familiar with the company. This can also be relatives, children, heirs, and you can give them an added incentive of maintaining their personal income. Right, they like their job, they want to stay there. This can frequently be positioned and help position them for ownership. This approach typically takes several years. Okay, so again, we're talking about timing here. The employees earn sufficient equity to act as a down payment on the financing, so they can finance the balance of the purchase. They can finance the balance of the purchase price. From the current owner's perspective, he or she maintains control. So you'll maintain control of the business, and you're able to leave the proceeds safely in hands as the business transitions. So regardless of the exit strategy you choose, preparation is key, and having a strategy is key to a successful conclusion. And we recommend beginning planning and positioning your company to transition. Start 3 to 5 years before the planned date of departure. Find out what your wealth gap is. How long is it going to take to get the business to the point to where you can sell it for the value and the wealth that you need to extract from it. See how long that's going to take. Okay, longer timelines frequently add flexibility, but starting preparation less than 3 years from your target date will severely limit your options. Try to have at least 3 years to plan your exit and prepare for your exit. Now, are you feeling overwhelmed by this and the changes in the business world? Do you feel like you need a plan to help you make the right decision for your business? You're not alone if you do. And hopefully through this video, we've invited you to see and understand what the challenges you may face are, and that there is hope and a way for you to have a successful exit. And I want to invite you at this time to take my free exit map assessment. I put this together. It's in the comments or description below. This will help you give a better understanding of the steps you need to take to create the future you want. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to do this assessment, and you'll understand. You'll get a lot of good feedback on on what exactly you need to do, where your weaknesses in your business are, and what you can do specifically to create a map, an exit map, right? To help you prepare for a successful exit. So take the exit map assessment to find out the steps you need to take to create the exit plan you want. And I hope this has been of value to you. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Your Legacy Live. And again, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, so we can come back and discuss the questions and concerns or thoughts and input you have. All right? Till next time.